Hey everybody, Randy here. Welcome to Let's Figure It Out. In this series, we review mods and features for Ark Survival Ascended on a PlayStation 5. Let's get started. In this video, we will test the new Blade Wasp Hive against Wyverns in the Scorched Earth Trench. Now with the Extinction Mat release, we had the third part of Bob's Tall Tales, and in that, we get the Blade Wasp Hive. Let's take a look. If we go to our engrams, we're going to click on Bob's Tall Tales. Then we're going to come over and type in Blade, and then we'll have the Blade Wasp Hive pop up. You must be level 90 to craft it, and you craft it in a fabricator. The crafting requirements are going to be chitin, electronics, metal ingots, crystal, giant bee honey, and polymer. You're going to need a lot of giant bee honey to craft this and to run this. The hive itself looks pretty cool, and if you remember from Ark Survival Evolved, on Genesis, it looks kind of like the wasp swarm. I forget the exact name of it. But if you were in the bog biome, they would always swarm you and take your health. And the only way to kill them was with a torch. But here, they've respec'd it and put it into a turret. And it's actually pretty cool looking. I mean, it's pretty weird looking, but it is pretty cool looking. Now, we'll go into its inventory. And you can see, I've got it loaded up with bee honey and with sulfur. And it requires honey as its fuel and sulfur as its ammo. Now, the one thing to take note from this is, in my inventory, giant bee honey expires in 16 minutes and 40-something seconds. Whenever I place it into here, that spoil timer extends to 11 days, 15 hours, 15 minutes. That is a long spoil timer. The problem is when you look at its info right here under the owner of the tribe, the ammo, its targeting and range, you'll see the very bottom thing is fuel. And if I turn this on and let it run continuously, it is only going to run for 14 hours and 30 minutes. It's not like using a turret that uses bullets to protect your base. You are going to need a lot of honey to run this. For a base defense, I'm not so sure that this is viable. But over at the Wyvern Trench, where you fly down to the trench and you pick up eggs and come back to a little outpost, this may be a very useful item to just turn on right before you run that. You can leave the honey in here, and you can tell by the spoil timer that it is going to last a long time. Also, all those wyverns you kill are just going to restock your sulfur. So it's kind of a win-win for the trench. What we really need to test now is if it will kill the wyverns before they kill me. Another detail to keep in mind with the Blade Wasp Hive is it is only effective against flying dinos. It won't actually target medium or larger land dinos. And the only thing that it does to small dinos or shoulder pet sized dinos is deters them. That's the word that I'll use. It kind of swarms them and irritates them and makes them run off. But I've not seen that it would kill a shoulder pet or a small dino yet. It just deters them from being in your area. So something like, let's say, pegos or dillos or shoulder pets, it would swarm those and run them off, but it doesn't really do anything. It's really designed to damage flying dinos. So to demonstrate that, let me find an RG and I'll drag it over to this turret and we'll let it go to town on an RG. So I'm going to turn it on. And when it turns on, it's got this opening up animation. Let me do that again. So you see it's closed and we'll turn it on. It opens up. It looks freaky. It looks like something out of Aliens. I kind of like it. All right, let's jump down on the Griffin. Let's find a supplier and let's see what happens here. Now I've got the range on high and on wild dinos only. Not that it matters. I play on single player with PvE settings, but that's what I just always set it to make sure that it is consistent with all my turrets. Let's see if we can find us an RG here. Let's see if we can get one of these guys to come at me. There we go. What am I doing about? All right, here we go. You can see the turrets hitting it. It's doing 100 or so, 145, 150, 160. So if you notice there, what happened was the turret hit the RG and incrementally it increased its damage over time. So it was one hit was at one number, the next hit was another number. It was like 145, 155, 165. It may have been a little different than that. I was trying to fly and glance at the numbers at the same time, but it incrementally gets higher as you go. Now, for a Wyvern, I don't know if that's enough damage. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to place out another one of these so that I can stack damage. Okay, I've got the first Blade Wasp Hive set up over here, and then I've set up a second Blade Wasp Hive. Inside, I've placed the honey and the sulfur. And just to go over, there's 30 storage slots in here. So obviously one is going to be the sulfur and the rest is going to be honey. If you've got some sort of mod on that allows you to make stacks of honey, then this wouldn't necessarily be a problem and you could extend your timer. But as of now, that's not available. At least I don't know of one. So you're going to be stuck with this 14-hour time with 29 individual pieces of honey. But it is really nice that they've extended the spoil timer on this. Now, I'm going to check my settings. So we're on high. We're going to do wild dinos. I know it doesn't matter on single player, but it's just a habit that I get into. Wild dinos, high. We're going to turn it on. And we're going to turn it on. And so you see, as soon as I turn it on, it consumes that first piece of honey. Because now we're down to 28 pieces of honey and 1 stack of sulfur. Now, we've got both of these Blade Wasp Hives set up. And they're ready to go. Let me go find one single Wyvern. I'm stressing one. And bring it back and see how it does with 2 hives going. Oh, there's a bunch down there. I just want one. There we go. One stray. Let's see what it's. 175. Okay. I'll put the tracker on it and see if I can grab the aggro and just bring it. It has 8,093 health. All right, here we go. Let's try to not get knocked out before we can drag this Wyvern over here to the trap. I love using Griffins against Wyverns. Come on. Great. There's a rock golem here. I want to try to see the damage numbers on it. Okay, it's taking damage now. Okay, killed it. Alright, let's take a look at these turrets and see if they took any damage. Let's see. They did not take any damage. There is still the same amount of honey in there. Let's go ahead and top that off. Over here, did not take damage. Same amount of honey as to start with. I'll go ahead and top that off. You know what? Let's just go ahead and chuck that in there about as well. Okay, so that went pretty well, all things considered. I think we can make this a little bit better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place down a Tesla Coil and see if that will help with the damage. Okay, I've got the Tesla Coil in my inventory and I've got the ammo for it. Now, I don't know, let's turn off snapping. I don't know if you've ever used a Tesla Coil before, but it runs off of power and its ammo is crystal. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck all this crystal in. Okay, so that says 1,300 bullets. Okay, we're going to go in and make sure that our settings are right. I always do wild dinos. I know it doesn't matter. I'm on single player. We're going to go to range is high and no warning. The last setting that we're going to look at is the attack type. And with that, we've got 3 things to choose from: charged, bright, and volatile. In the charged mode, it'll zap an enemy, it'll do damage, and it applies a burn effect over time. The bright mode will zap an enemy and it stuns it every few seconds, and there's kind of a cooldown between each stun. And then in the volatile mode, it'll zap an enemy and then it does minor damage and applies a vulnerability debuff, which significantly increases the damage taken by the target. So for me, I'm thinking it's going to be bright mode or volatile mode, and I think we should test both. Let's start with the bright mode, and that's going to stun it over a few seconds. Now, let's turn it on. Let's get our griffin out, and we are going to find us a willing participant. A volunteer. Where is a volunteer? I just want one wyvern. All right, let's keep flying up. Let's get it to chases. Let's get above the coils. Let's fly it directly over. Swarm is out. Yeah, I don't see the Tesla Coil hitting it at all. All right, I have to watch the playback on that. It might have hit it one time. Let's see. It did. It made one attack. But let's try this volatile, because with the volatile, it states that it increases the amount of damage that the creature will take with each subsequent attack. So let's try that. Okay, level 50, he shouldn't last very long. 3,400 health. Let's see if we can get him over here. I think we got an ADD wyvern over here. Dude. There we go. Let's get up high enough. Well, that ain't good. He's taking damage. The Tesla Coil is hitting him. Well, I'm not sure I could tell any difference if I'm being honest. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to bright, because that's supposed to chain from each dino to the next, and it will stun it in place and allow these turrets to go to work. So, to test this, what I'm going to do, one last time, I'm going to fly down into the trench. This time, I'm going to grab an egg, and we know that's going to aggro a bunch of them. And I'm going to fly back here and see if these turrets will get all of those wyverns off of my back. Wish me luck. Okay, just to be safe, I'm going to make sure that I'm on neutral. Okay, target range medium. Okay, let's go down there and snatch an egg and see what happens. I got the egg. Let's see if they got wyverns coming. There are wyverns coming. Oh, there's a bunch of them coming. Ooh, that ain't good. I can't see a thing. I literally cannot see a thing. Okay, it's getting zapped by the Tesla Coil. I literally could not see a thing. There was so much going on there. What kind of egg did we get? Level 45. Let's just eat that. That's hilarious. Okay, that worked pretty well. I couldn't tell if the Bright actually did anything against him. It seems like it might have stunned him and made one land, but I couldn't really tell with the others. So I'm going to switch it back over to Volatile, and let's try that one more time. All right, we got the egg. See if anybody's coming for us. Oh, those two are. Oh, there are a lot coming for us. All right, let's go turn around this direction. Oh, there they are. Let's go. Oh, man. This is going to be crazy. Okay, turrets, anytime now. Go for it. All right, it's swarming. All right, the Tesla Coil went off. Okay, I believe that it works better to use the Tesla Coil on Volatile. That seemed like it really worked well. Way better than the first time that I brought all these guys up. I'm going to turn it off. And, you know, when you turn it off, you still get that extended spoil timer. So I'm just going to leave this honey in here. Fueled up, ready to go, but turned off for the next time I make a run through here. So, in our testing, we were able to see that the Blade Wasp Hives work pretty well against Wyverns, and placing 2 of them up there really helped to spread the damage out. Now, adding a Tesla Coil, I'm not sure if that added any more damage. We could have put a 3rd Blade Wasp Hive up here and probably had no problems. The upside is the Tesla Coil runs off of a power generator and is fueled by crystal, so I'll just leave that on all the time. But these Blade Wasp Hives, I think, are really more designed to set up like this, in a defensive position when you know you're going to be attacked. In single player, with PvE settings, the only time I'm going to get attacked is by wild dinos, and that can be quite random. But at a Wyvern Trench, where I'm grabbing eggs and running, then we know we're going to get attacked, particularly when they swarm us when I'm holding an egg. So, I kind of like using the Blade Wasp Hive in defense of an outpost whenever I grab eggs at the trench. And I'll probably use these going forward anytime I'm grabbing eggs on maps. If you like this kind of content, please give us a like and a subscribe. Check in often, because we're always testing stuff like this. We'll see you in the next one.